Hey, Mike, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Doing great, man. I'm curious at 0-2 right now, and being in the Dome with sort of a San Francisco 49er fan takeover, where you kind of gauge fan interest on this season right now, 2 games in?
I don't think the fan interest is super strong game to game, like living on like they need to win this game today. And I'm so passionate about it. I mean, it was a 49ers takeover because a lot of 49ers fans were willing to buy tickets. I'm curious what the next few home games will look like. It could be empty seats. It could be a quieter dome. This part of that trend has been going on for a few years now with the missed playoff seasons. And we've heard boos in the Dome, and we've seen empty seats in the Dome. I mean, that's the state of this team right now. I think there is still fan interest in the team, but it's a lot more like, when are we going to get this thing back up and running? Let me know when we do, because the games themselves aren't individually super compelling, especially at 0-2, like you said.
Yeah. This game this week brings on a different layer of intrigue for different reasons, which we'll get to in a second. But through 2 weeks, I can't say Spencer Rattler has been the problem. I don't know that he's proven to be the answer. Where do you fall on that sliding scale?
Yeah, he's somewhere in between. I know that's a cop-out answer. There's a lot in between. I think he's pretty good. I don't know how high his ceiling goes. I'm glad that he's the guy out there right now as opposed to the veteran they previously had or some other veteran that they brought in. I mean, if you're going to compare him and say, should it be him or the guy they picked 40th overall, that's interesting conversation that'll be had for months and maybe years to come. But I'm glad that it's a young quarterback that we're finding out more about each week. And I think he's very quickly kind of slid into people realizing, he kind of doesn't look that much different than all the other guys who were drafted last year, even though they were drafted first and second and third overall. He's a work in progress, but he's got some real talent. It's almost a shame that we keep comparing him to Tyler Shough, because if he was just the one developmental guy and that was it, I think people would be really encouraged right now.
Do you think, or what scenario do you think would have to unfold for New Orleans to give Tyler Shough a shot?
Well, we talked about this on the show this week. I think there's a couple things. I think obviously, no duh, Spencer Rattler can hold him at bay by playing very well and winning a lot of games. And just, making it clear, you can't bench me the way I'm playing right now. But the wins are a very important part of that, because even if Rattler keeps this up and he keeps playing at this level, he needs to make sure it's not for a team that is about to have the first or second pick in next year's draft. I think if the Saints feel like there's a deadline on their decisions, then they're going to have to take a look at Tyler Shough at some point, because they're going to need that information. So I think the answer is, play really well, obviously, but also make sure you win enough games that they don't feel like they need to do a full evaluation of all their current quarterbacks before next year's draft.
Mike Triplett's with us, NewOrleans.football. Chats every week, brought to you by Benny's Car Wash. Learn more about your options and your membership options at bennyscarwash.com, bennyscarwash.com. Trevor Penning going to play this week?
He's touch and go. He's making the trip to Seattle, though. That's obviously a good sign. He's been out at practice both days, even though he was limited. Seeing him out there on Wednesday was definitely a positive. So I think there's a good chance. And boy, do they need him, because all of a sudden now Dylan Radins can't go and Tali Fuaga might not go. So the offensive line is that position group so far this year.
What do they? It was that last year as well.
Well, they all were last year.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely. What about a left guard though? I mean, with Saldiveri out for the season, Penning gets hurt, now Radins gets hurt. It's almost unbelievable they're walking that path again. What do you think is a realistic expectation for that line this week if you do see a shuffle with no Fuaga, or if Penning is limited?
Yeah, if Penning can play, then, really the one position you're worried about is right tackle. They luckily acquired that Awesome Richards from Dallas. He has some experience, but all of his previous experience had come at left tackle. Right tackle's new to him. I think he struggled a little bit when he came into the game in week one. So that would be your big worry spot. But in theory, you'd have experienced starters at every other position and just hope for the health with Penning. So it would help a lot if he can play.
Mike,
otherwise, you might be throwing rookie Torricelli Simpkins in there as well and have two big question marks.
I have no interest in seeing that against Seattle's defensive line. Not that defensive line. Okay, Chase Young. Mike, why didn't they put him on short-term IR?
If there was any chance he was going to come back in less than 4 weeks, then there's no reason to do that. It's not like they desperately needed those roster spots. They've had healthy inactives every week anyway. So, if he only misses 3 games, then it was worth it not to. But just, sometimes they don't know for sure. If it's a 2 to 4 week injury, you're hoping it's closer to the 2. And they didn't desperately need that roster spot. I mean, they're churning guys in and out of that last roster spot all the time anyway. So that doesn't bother me whenever a guy is in the window, I guess. But it does look like he's about to miss his 3rd game.
Were you encouraged by anything or anyone in particular defensively against San Francisco?
Yeah, we might have been talking about an excellent defensive performance if they could just get off the dang field and on 3rd down. The list of 3rd downs that the 49ers converted in that game were ridiculous. It was like 3rd and 14, 3rd and 13, 3rd and 11. A lot of them were because of a 5-yard penalty that came with an automatic first down. But, they were doing what they were supposed to on 1st and 2nd down. They were bottling up Christian McCaffrey in the run game anyway pretty well. He got leaky on them on that touchdown right before halftime. So, fairly encouraging. They did enough to keep that game competitive, and then they just couldn't get off the field. So, I still would like to see more pass rush from this team, obviously, and not having Chase Young doesn't help that. We'll see Alante Taylor and Kool-Aid McKinstry get tested this week by Jackson Smith and Jigba and Cooper Kupp. They're still a TBD, but they were close. I don't know how long we're going to give them any points for being close, but they were close.
The Saints are near the bottom of the league in pressures right now, so they could certainly use Chase Young getting back. Is there a spot on the field where you think the Saints might have an advantage over Seattle?
Yeah, an advantage over Seattle. I'm trying to think. I still think Alvin Kamara looks like he's one of the elite backs in the league, and they're doing a decent job with him when they're getting the ball in his hands. I think he's a problem for Seattle's defense. I'm very curious about Seattle's injury report because they've got 2 really good defensive backs who are both questionable and touch and go whether they're going to play this week or not. So, there's some chances for the Saints to keep producing the same level of all their skill position players are healthy right now. They still have the Olave Shaheed combination, Brandon Cooks, Juwan Johnson. They should be able to move the ball. I don't think they'll just be completely shut down. But yeah, like we said at the beginning of this conversation, the offensive line needs to allow them to do that.
Would Sean Payton have already cut Blake Grupe?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Sean Payton has Will Lutz in Denver with him. He's loyal to guys who have proven skins on the wall, and I think Blake Grupe falls in that department of proven. But you quickly find out how long that lasts if this continues. They want to chalk it up to a fluke. It's crazy. I don't know if we jinxed him or what, but he was like arguably the MVP of the summer. He missed 1 kick ever all summer in any practice session, any preseason game, anything. And then 2 weeks into the season, he's already missed 2 kicks.
Yeah. Any reason for optimism Sunday against Seattle except for the any given Sunday mantra?
Yeah, I don't think Seattle's this perfect team. The Saints just, were within upset range against the 49ers, and the 49ers and Seahawks was a 17-13 game a couple weeks ago. The Niners beat them. I put the Seahawks somewhere in that great middle of similar to the Cardinals, similar to the Niners. I'm going to pick the Saints to lose by 6 points again, just like they keep doing to all these teams. But I don't look at this matchup the way I'm going to look at Saints at Buffalo a week later.
Yeah, that should be overwhelming. But the Saints do have a couple opportunities when they come home from Buffalo with the Giants and the Patriots. Those are gettable games for New Orleans. We'll see if maybe Kellen Moore can notch his first win before then. Mike Triplett, NewOrleans.football. Our chats every single week are brought to you by Benny's Car Wash. You can learn more about the Benny's membership club at bennyscarwash.com. bennyscarwash.com. Unlimited car wash memberships. bennyscarwash.com. Mike, we appreciate it as always, man. Thank you so much for the time.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact. And be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.